Hey, Brian, Dennis Feidner. Hey, thanks for the call this morning. Hope I didn't confuse you too much. So anyway, I'm going to take you for a quick ride here on Sage 100. And if I say Master Builder, like I told you, it's the same thing. They changed names on us here about a year ago. So let me close this up real quick. So this is our project screen. And so it's pretty easy to follow around. If I want to set up a new job or see something about a job, I go here. If I want to create a change order or a purchase order, and these are all customized to individuals. So these are the things you do. These are on your desktop. If you need some other things, we just kind of drag and drop them from this menu over here. So I do want to show you how we set up a new job for a couple of reasons. So as we do jobs, I'm just going to go pick one that's already set up. It makes it a lot easier. You give it the name, who the client is, which would be one of your HOAs. Couple just boilerplate stuff here. Who are the correct contacts for this job? You won't have an architect, but whoever the architect was. If there's a lockbox, what the code for the lockbox is. Master job you probably won't use, but who the estimator was, who the salesperson was, and who the project manager is. So we track all that, so you can start getting profitability reports for your salesperson, estimator, or project manager. And then a whole bunch of dates back here that you can follow. But what I like about this compared to QuickBooks is if I'm on a job and I'm on job number 2 right now and I want to see the bid items on this job, these are the items that we had on our bid. This is my budget for each of the line items that I'm going to work on. And obviously you would not have this many, but my budget for hours, material, labor, and subcontract if you use subcontractors. All the purchase orders written for this job. And if I want to see a purchase order, I just double click this and it'll take me right back to the purchase order of exactly what I bought for that job. Change orders, subcontracts, invoices. Here's what I've invoiced the client. Whoops, I gotta close this first. Here's everything I've invoiced the client and whether they've paid it or not. So all that's available. As long as you're on this one screen, you can find anything you want right there, which I think is a big positive. So I want to jump into the nuts and bolts here. So I'm going to jump into estimating. And I do have a painting estimate. It's not perfect, but you'll get the idea. I'll just drag this open a little bit more here. So these up here are our assumptions. And so, how many square feet, how many feet can a guy paint per day? How many gallons or square feet do I get out of a gallon? How many square feet can I power wash in a day? How many hours for foreman do I need, and how many hours do I want to put on there for labor? So miscellaneous hours, and then paint. And so I do these, and right here, I took this 25,000. You know what? Let me. If you use, I meant to open this column up. So this works a lot like Excel. So there's formulas. So it says, hey, the supervision hours is basically the square footage divided by 2,000. That's just an arbitrary number, but I think he can supervise 2,000 feet per hour. So that's that. Down here, for the power washing, it's how many square feet divided by the power washing rate, which is 2,100. So you get it. Divides the 25,000 by 2,100. I come up with almost 12 hours. It's $6.50 an hour for, $19.70 for apprentice, and then $125. I'm not sure what that was for. It's probably for the machine or something. I can't remember. But anyway, it doesn't make any difference. So these are all get set up. Same thing on Paint, but I build the formulas just like you would in Excel. But the bottom line is once I have this all extended out, I know where I'm going to buy the paint, in this case Home Depot. These are the cost codes that I want to charge it to. And this is the type it is. It's either material or labor. So once this is done, right, then I have a chance to export this to the budget so I get good job cost reports. I can take it out to a proposal. I can create the purchase orders, or I can create subcontracts. And so once I'm done, everything's moving through the system without anybody rekeying it again, which is a real positive for the thing. So I can go into more detail on that estimating. If you had an Excel spreadsheet, I'd recreate that for you just so you can see how easy it is. You did talk about scheduling, and I'm here. So if I go to scheduling, let's see if I have a simpler job here. It's not painting, but you get the idea. This is like a little concrete repair. So, First I got to do the rough grading, then I got to do the layout, then I got to do some trenching, flat work. I'm going to pour it. I'm going to strip the forms, and then add some electrical work. What you get for that is something that looks like that. So you get your schedule of what's going on and when it's going to be done. If I applied employees to this, which I didn't, it would actually show you your resources by day. If I said which crew is going to work on this, I can do that. And I'll show you another one. This is really kind of funky, but it works for a couple of my clients where they have a lot of crews running around. So it takes a total different look at this. This is the jobs that I have underway right now. These are the crews. I have 5 different crews that I work with. And these are the days each of these jobs is going to take to do. Then I get a Gantt chart that looks like this, and it basically says crew number 2 here is going to be on job 123 till this date, and when they're done, I'm going to send them to this job. And then same thing with this blue crew. They're going to actually multitask on 2 jobs simultaneously, and the red and yellow are kind of like this turquoise, and so they're just going to go from one job to the next. What this gives me is availability to crews, and I can look right here. So if I have a job coming up, it looks like my green crew is going to be completely out of work here in a couple of weeks. I know I need to get a job assigned to them. If this yellow job happens to be ready before I could actually assign this one to the green crew because they could get out there a couple of days early. So you get the idea, but it's just a quick picture of where your crews are and where they're going. And obviously, in our business, I would say things change daily, but I think they change quicker than that in our business. They change kind of like minutely sometimes. So, but anyway, this is something you can work on in your Thursday meetings. So that's that. I want to show you a couple of really good cost reports that'll, I think, help you. One is the committed cost report. And I'm just going to bring this one up here. So you were talking this morning. So if I'm entering my time cards every day, you worked 8 hours today and I worked 8 hours today on a certain job, a certain task code, and I'm just going to say our burn rate's 35%. It's now going to pull in that labor, even though the payroll hasn't been processed. This could be the Monday 2 weeks before you run the payroll. I can still put this labor on here. It's got a flat burn rate, but if you know your burn rate pretty close, it's going to give you an idea where you are. So in your QuickBooks, if you had items, you'd see these line items, and I know you don't have this many, but if you did, then this is the budget plus approved change orders. If you have change orders, this is the budget that you had. This is what I spent to date. And then this column, these are subcontracts that I've written to a subcontractor, but I have not been invoiced for yet. And in purchase orders, obviously, are purchase orders that I've written to buy materials, but have not been invoiced for it yet. So the nice part is, go back up here. If I look at line 6100 here, and I want to see how I spent this $12,000 as an owner, I can just double click that, and it'll give me each of the line items and the vendors that I've spent the money with, without having to go bother accounting. Project managers could have access to that as well. And so let's skip down a couple. Whoops, mouse is kind of acting up here. If I look at line 6400 here, if I'm in QuickBooks, and even if everything was up to the minute, if you had the invoices entered every day, you'd go home tonight saying, hey, you know what? This is pretty good. I got a $3,400 budget. I've only spent $2,700. I'm about $700 ahead of budget. I'm looking good. Only problem is your partner, and I don't remember what his name was, we'll say Bill. Bill happened to write a purchase order to go buy more materials for that casework. So when that bill comes in, this $2,500 is going to get added to this $2,600, and it's going to put you $1,700 over budget. So I know when I'm over budget before the invoices actually show up from my vendors, if I'm using the POs and the purchase orders. And that's a big deal. This is stuff you analyze on your Thursday meeting. Is like, you know what, guys? How did we bid $1,500 and somebody in the company here just wrote a PO for $11,500? Why did we spend $10,000 more than we were supposed to? These are the things you're going to be able to spot early in the job. So I'm going to close that. Painting, estimating, I'm just going through my notes here. Commissions, I think we should be able to handle, except that you have variable commissions. So it may be something we do outside the system, but if you look, just going to pull up a report real quick here. Actually, I don't want that one. Use this one. So I have this report, and this tells me what my total costs are, percentage of billings, what I've billed so far. But what I really want to show you is I can take this report right out to Excel. And I didn't have Excel open. So same report, now you can see it in Excel. Drag some of these columns open a little bit here. So now I can actually come over here and say, you know, on this job, it's 7% commissioned, you know. I got it in read only. I can come in here and put my percentages based on your formula, or you can have a formula and say, hey, if the profit margin is between X and X, it's a 7, so you can write a macro to do that. So the way to do this is to probably do this in Excel, only because you had variable commissions based on commission on profitability rates. If they were stacked standard, I could do it, but once you throw that, well, if it's this, it's this, if it's that, it's that, we'd probably just export out the profitability reports directly out to Excel and let you do the management there. So that's another possibility for you. Let me just close some of this stuff up. So, you know, we got estimating. I have that on your on your proposal. The scheduling is, the estimating is, equipment management is not. I don't see you using that. All of the project management is in there except for the RFIs, transmittals, which you said you don't really use. I left that off. So you get change orders, purchase orders, subcontracts, and all the cost reports. Full payroll, including direct deposit and tax returns and all that. Full accounts payable, accounts receivable, a couple ways to bill. Whoops, missed it. I can do a progress billing. So if you have line items where you have a painting item and you're billing 30% or 40% complete, you can bill that way. If you just bill one time and say painting's done, pay me my X dollars, you can bill that way. And we do have a time and materials module that's included as well. So if somebody says, hey, I want you to do that on time and materials, and you negotiated your profit margins and overhead rates for the individual line items, you can actually track all of the costs going through the system to that job. It will accumulate it, list it out on the invoice, and then put the right profit margins on there. Full financial reporting, financial statements, the whole works. One of the things I always like to show, if I go into go to reports and say search reports, this is like a biggie compared to QuickBooks. So I just say job cost, which obviously is what you're looking for, as I understand. And I say search. There's 139 different job cost reports in the system. And if I want to look at them, I can click on it and say, you know what? That's really close to what I want to look at. But you know what? Let's look at this one here. So you can look at these, and then once you find the ones you want, then you're going to start putting them on your desktop, so you don't have to go looking for them. You know, here's a labor journal. Is all the labor charges per job per item. So there's lots of ways to get the information out of here, and I think you're going to be happy with that because, like I said, with 139 reports, you ought to find one that you really like. Anyway, that was kind of the Cook's tour there. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. I do want to show you one more thing I forgot. Hang on a second. So if I set up a new client, so, you know, this would be, I'm just going to make this up as I go here, HOA 100, you know, whoever that is. I don't know names. And we'll put in HOA here. They're a current client. You know, this is where you can put them in as a prospect if they're not a current client. What type are they? These are customizable by you. So HOA townhomes, HOA apartments, whatever. You could have that in there. You know, their address for billing and what have you. All of their contacts that they have could go in here. You know, if you have other addresses, different billing addresses, billing, credit cards on file if you need to. But here's where and don't, I know you know this, but I always like to say it. You know, you're sitting in there, YouTube, freeze this thing so you can look at all this, but you have a lot of fields available to you. You know, what product are they interested in? Because you can have that. Where'd you get the lead from? I got it from, it was a customer referral. What part of town are they located in? How big are they? Are they on one of my mailing lists? Which mailing list are they on? who's the manager on this account, who's the salesperson on this account, 3 user defined boxes here, 2 more over here, and 4 check boxes. So, what mail piece did we send to them? So a lot of ways to track information by that client. Okay, and so let me save this real quick. I don't know if I have everything filled out. I guess I did. So now I have that set up. There's a tab down here that says locations. Then for that HOA, then you could have each of the properties that they have and the contact information for each one of those properties. And so I think it will function as your CRM system and have everything included in one product. So anyway, we can dig into that a little deeper later, but this was just kind of an overview for you, and you can pass this on to your partner so that he can take a look at it, or she, I wasn't sure. And then let me think, there's something else I want to show you. Yeah, let me go one place, because I think this is important as well. And this is, you know what, I do have it here. Hang on a second. I have so much data in here, I always forget where the good stuff is sometimes. So this is just a client record again. But on this client record, if you scroll across here to this paperclip, you'll see that it's white. It means something's there. So to this, I've attached a PDF, I've attached an email, I've attached a Word document. I put in their website so I can get to their website quickly. And so I can start adding documents to all those screens I'm on. Every screen I was on has that deal. So if I go to purchase orders and I want to create a purchase order, same thing, paperclip right here. I can attach a picture of what I'm doing or scan out of the catalog, whatever you want. Or when they sign it and send it back, scan in the signed PO that you have it on file, and then you don't have to go looking through paper files to find it. It'd be right here as a scanned document. Anyway, I appreciate it. Like I said, my next week's pretty wide open. Only thing I have is something early on Tuesday. Other than that, I'm pretty open. So give me a call. Let me know what you need. Dennis at 800-659-5851. So 800-659-5851. And if you need another video, let me know what you want to see or something I didn't show you or more of what I showed you. These videos are easy for me to make, and I do reuse them on occasion. So thanks.